Man, when I tell you it's been one hell of a day in sports, it's been one hell of a day in sports. Now we're currently awaiting the arrival of the arrival, of the gentleman of Georgia, aka BRF Sports. As we wait on him, we will get into it. As of right now, I got my guy, who's probably one of the most excited guys today, considering what has just happened in the NFL world at this point. He's probably one of the most excited guys right now in the sports world. That being Flash, he is from Wisconsin, by the way. How are you feeling today, I will ask, before we get right into it?
I will say this. I think this is the biggest free agent signing for the Green Bay Packers since Reggie. Well, not free agency signing. The biggest transaction since Reggie White. I think it's that big. I'm excited. I think this is a phenomenal trade. I think it's great. I think I am just, I don't even know. I don't even know how to really describe how I feel. I'm now, so I'm going. I have Packers season tickets, so I'll be at the opener. Now I'm really excited. Now I get to see how this guy factors in. I've been waiting for a guy that defenses that defensive coordinators have to prepare specifically for to be on this Packer defense since the days of Charles Woodson and Clay Matthews. Mm-hmm. More specifically, Charles Woodson. And now we have one. How this makes the whole defense and team better is like it's indescribable, like how this is going to matter. And you only gave up, like I was worried on the player they were going to give up, but they gave up Kenny Clark, and I am not upset about it. I never was like a big Kenny Clark guy. I thought he was a good, serviceable player. Good. He's a good player. He's a really good player. Was he a game changer? No. Let's not kid ourselves. But the guy was healthy for the most part of his whole career. And he was, again, a really good player. But did he scare anybody? No. No. Did he even scare anybody? Even Rashawn Gary. I love Rashawn Gary. I think he's a really, really good pass rusher. Does he scare anybody? No. Now we got somebody that scares the bejesus out of people.
On top of the secondary that you have.
Dude, I'm scared to play Micah Parsons in Madden. So this is good stuff. This is legit. What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie. I did not expect them to trade him. I thought this was Jerry putting down bait, putting down clickbait. I really thought it was. Now, BRF, to his credit, he will be joining us whenever he gets a chance, by the way. BRF, to his credit, did say that, and speak of the devil, there he is right there, the greatest of all time, the gentleman of Georgia.
I wish. No, I'm just kidding. What's going on, man? How y'all fellas doing?
We just weighing in on the Micah Parsons trade, just giving my thoughts upon it.
Wait a minute. Hell just froze over. You said it right.
Yeah. Micah Parsons trade.
I am proud of you, sir. Salute.
But
I'm just messing with you, though. I'm messing with you.
I know, because I don't ever. So Micah Parsons being traded, I thought it was just Jerry putting down clickbait. But like I stated before, you got on the air, BRF. BRF did state at one point, I think it was last year, one of the big three is going to be left out. One of the big three was going to be left out. And our best guess is that it was going to be either Dak or it was going to be CeeDee Lamb. If you would have told us last year that it would have been Micah Parsons that was going to be left out, that was going to be traded or leaving free agency, we would have called you crazy. Micah Parsons has Lawrence Taylor level talent. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league. And in a passing league, that's what you need, a game changer like a Micah Parsons.
Facts.
And the fact that you only got 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, because, hey, look, if you're going to get something from me, I have to rob you a little bit. I'm saying that again. If you're going to get something from me, I got to rob you a little bit. So I would have asked for at least another second-round pick next year, or at least a third to kind of sweeten the deal. But MICAH, for what they got, I don't know. It's a very, very – they were going into the Philadelphia Eagles game terrible on defense with Micah Parsons on that defense. It's kind of like if you really look at Dallas and Cincinnati, they're in the same boat on defense. They're in the same boat.
I disagree on that one.
Well, excuse me. Let me rephrase that.
Dallas is a better Dallas. Yes, when it comes to the run game, absolutely, they are atrocious. At least Dallas can get to the quarterback. Outside of Trey, Dallas has more of a balanced attack as far as getting to the quarterback. Outside of Trey Hendrickson with the Cincinnati Bengals, they ain't got crap. They had crap rushing the passer.
Exactly. But as far as the defensive side of the ball, shout out to Brandon from the block. Dumb as heck for letting Dak stay. Should have been CD and Micah staying.
It should have been Dak. It should have been Dak and Micah, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you can find another receiver, as they did. They when they got George Pickens, a Georgia Bulldog, by the way, but to go on opposite side of it. But I don't know about this move. But like I said, when you talk about the run, they're in the same boat. When you talk about the run specifically, they're in the same boat as the Cincinnati Bengals. They couldn't stop the run with Micah Parsons there. Now, without him there, you don't have to game play. There's not that one air specialty type person on defense that you just really got to pay attention to on Dallas. That there's not that one guy. So you're really kind of looking like, how bad is this defense going to get picked apart this year without their best pass rusher? Now, Jerry, during the press conference, did say we have the draft picks to go get somebody else in order to go get a pass rusher in order to replace him. But who the hell is willing to give up their best pass rusher no matter how many draft picks you're able to give them? Unless you cut a deal with the Cincinnati Bengals to get Trey Hendrickson, who they already have paid, by the way. I don't know if there's anybody crazy enough in order to give you a Myles Garrett. I mean, a Jalen Walker or anybody of that nature. I don't know anybody crazy enough to give you their best pass rush. So you're going to have to either get him in the draft or wait to Trey Hendrickson or some of those other players come in free agency next year. As far as offense, I think you got to cover. But defense is going to be hell on the scale this year. It's going to be hell on a scale for this year. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. BRF Flash.
I like this trade for both teams. I actually don't mind this for Dallas. I know everybody is going to like, oh my God, they got rid of. Was Dallas going to win the Super Bowl this year?
Hell no.
Okay. So now you possibly secured your future with two first round draft picks. Now you have capital, regardless of whether they're going to go and trade for another pass rusher. Mind you, Kenny Clark is only 29 years old. Okay, again, he's a really good player, not in that same universe as Micah Parsons, but Dallas has been in has a lot of cap restraints. They added draft capital. They weren't going to win a Super Bowl this year. They're not going to beat out Philly, right? Probably would have had to compete with Washington if they were going to be any good. The NFC in general is pretty loaded in general. So why not get 2 first-round draft picks for them? And Green Bay, we've talked about it when the rumor started to kind of like really gain steam on the Pat McAfee show that this was really legit behind the scenes. We talked about when we've talked about Dallas, we talked about blowing it up. One of the three's got to go. Now you could argue that it should have been like, you keep Dak and Micah. I'd love to go back to that episode when this was discussed last year when we did talk about this, but again, Dallas is in salary cap hell. this alleviates that. Now you added 2 first-round draft picks. Green Bay is only one of the very few teams that was in a position to give up draft picks like this, plus pay Parsons. Who else is going to do that?
You got a point.
Not a lot of people or not a lot of teams. So your options were pretty limited, and you still got 2 first-round draft picks and a quality starter for the next 4 years. I don't mind it. I don't. Everybody's like laughing at Dallas right now. What are you laughing about? I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's a great talent, and I don't know. I'm feeling really good as a Packer fan right now. But I don't think this is a dumb move. You had to get rid of somebody. And I know you brought up George Pickens, but George Pickens, there's a reason why George Pickens isn't in Pittsburgh anymore. He's a head case. So I don't know. I don't see where this is a bad trade for Dallas. I don't. Now you could argue that the negotiation process and how that all played out between Jerry Jones and Parsons' agent and how that was terrible. I think that made like Jones look like terrible, but I think still at the end of the day, you still got 2 first-round draft picks and Kenny Clark. I don't know. That's not bad. Did they pull off a robbery like when the Bears traded for Khalil Mack? No, but we made fun of the Bears for doing that. So I don't know. I like the trade for Dallas. I do. I'm just be blunt about it.
Can you see the possibility of them looking through the edge rushers in the
real quick, if you're looking at the totem pole in the NFC as far as the power structure, this solidifies Green Bay as the second best team in the NFC. I think this solidifies Green Bay as the second best team in the NFC behind Philly. I really do.
I made a quick TikTok video on my way back from taking my daughter to dance class, and I pointed out that, or I just said that, boy, that was cute. We had a couple of cute years of the little kiddies, to the east of us, winning this division.
But who is it? Who's the second best team in the NFC then, Brandon? It ain't LA. It ain't the Rams.
What about the
It's
Lions?
none of the teams. It's none of the teams in the NFC South. So who is it?
You could argue the Lions. You can argue the Lions, but I think at this point Green Bay's packing better defense in Detroit. Ooh.
Even with Aiden Hutchinson returning,
you got to look at the totality though. Aiden Hutchinson is like, even I feel like Aiden Hutchinson is such an elite player, but who else is like legitimately getting consistent pass rush? And now you got to deal with Rashawn Gary on one end and Micah Parsons on the other side.
That's
nasty.
I think Detroit's defense as a whole is a better unit, but
I think this trade now you can put the Packers right there, because watch what Micah Parsons does as far as opening up everything for that defense. Watch what happens.
I don't disagree that this puts them at 2.
I think it puts them at 2.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a better defense though.
I'm just thinking. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Micah Parsons is gonna. I don't know. I like the talent on the Green Bay side of that ball for Green Bay, and I think Micah Parsons is just gonna unlock so much. I don't know. I just do.
The problem is the secondary. Now, don't get me wrong. This will make the secondary better. Absolutely make the secondary better. I'm looking up.
And plus when you look at the defensive backfield, you can make a case Xavier McKinney is a better player than anybody Detroit's got starting in the secondary.
So
yeah,
I will say this right about now. If you're Dallas, you have a guy by the name of Zadarius Smith in free agency. Do you go get him?
You got to get somebody. You have to get somebody now. You have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You legit have like no pass rush now because Kenny Clark, albeit he is a good defensive tackle, he's like, I guess he's in the top 10, 12 discussions as far as defensive tackles in football. He's a defensive tackle, so he ain't gonna do it by himself. So you got to go get somebody.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that they need to go do, because the Detroit Lions are in a deadlock with Zadarius Smith at this point. You got to go get Zadarius Smith.
I can see the Rams. I can see the Rams, Brandon. I can see the Rams. I can see the Rams there, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Trades like this do crazy things to teams. Just what? Green Bay's scary. Just watch out. Trades like this do things to teams.
Green Bay was already scary enough without him.
I'm saying
pretty good without him.
Yeah, but trades is
a whole nother ball game. But like I said, if I'm Dallas, I'm getting my ass on the phone tonight with Zadarius Smith. I mean, I'm getting on the phone with Zadarius Smith's agent yesterday.
Yeah, because you already lost that on Matt. Yeah, because I mean, even though Matt Judon was a disappointment in Atlanta, he went to where he signed with Miami, I think. So you lost him. You got to get somebody.
Yeah, you got to get Zadarius. You got to get your ass on that phone and go get Zadarius Smith. I mean, I don't care what it takes. You have to go get Zadarius Smith at this point. Zadarius Smith is a must.
I just can't believe Parsons just turned 26.
Yep.
I mean, it's quite ironic because so did Luka.
Dallas is just screwing up on all sides, boy. Dallas screwing up on all sides.
Hey, and look, wait a minute. Don't rule out Page leaving. Don't rule out Page leaving. Because look, wait a minute, hear me out.
We got. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jim. Go ahead. I want to hear what you guys say.
They've traded Marina Mabry. They've traded Veronica Burton. They've traded Kayla Thornton. They've traded Dejanay Carrington. They've traded Satu Sabali.
God. It's
amazing
to think they've had all that talent there.
They traded a little bit of everybody. Oh yeah. By the way, the MVP that we have in Atlanta right about now, playing for the Atlanta Dream. Guess who traded her to there? The Dallas Wings.
Dallas Wings traded Alicia Gray to them.
Yes.
Wow.
So don't rule out Page getting traded a couple of years from now because that damn organization is so damn horrible.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. They gotta the Dallas Wings gotta win. They gotta win, bro. Oh my God. Poor Dallas. Damn, bro.
Right here. Don't be surprised if next year either Page or Enrique Gubawale acts out of Dallas. I'm sitting here right now. Don't be surprised if that happens.
I would trade Enrique before Page. She's the one you got to build around right now. I'm trading Enrique first. You got to at least attempt to build around Page and try to make it work. If you're going to trade, you trade Enrique. You got to at least keep Page.
I don't know what you do, but the way Dallas is looking is, like I said, and I don't mean to be repetitive. I know we pride ourselves on having French. Jared Jones, you got to get your ass on that phone with Zadarius Smith right now. I mean, you can't stall any longer.
Yeah, I agree with you there, champ. You got to do something.
Yeah, you got to get on that phone with Zadarius Smith and his agent right now. So I mean, if you have any hope, you better get something done now. Brandon, Dallas is cooked on defense. I don't know what's going to happen with Dallas.
Dallas is cooked, sauteed, stir-fried, grilled, broiled, boiled. You name it, that's what they are on defense.
Real quick, is this the most boneheaded move Jerry Jones has done since trading for Joey Galloway in the late 90s to replace Michael Irvin?
No, because I think it was a good trade.
It's only good if Dallas absolutely sucks. Because if that first round pick ain't it, if the first round pick they got next year, if that sucker's not top 5, it ain't even worth it.
Well, it's not going to be, because Green Bay is going to be a playoff team.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, Green Bay's going to be a playoff team, so it ain't even going to be worth. Yeah, what I'm saying.
But you're looking at this from, like, just because it's not a top 5 draft, you got 2 first-round draft picks. That gives you so much draft capital in the 2 next draft. By the way, we have a slew of quarterbacks coming through the next couple of years.
And
they're already predicting Arch Manning to go to the Cowboys.
And Dad Archie is already saying he wants him to be at the Cowboys.
I'm just saying. Everybody's looking at the immediate right now and not looking to the future. We all thought that the Cowboys should probably blow this up last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'd be pretty stupid to blow all this up and not get any draft capital out of it, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, you got to. Now you got
2 first-round draft picks, and you have a possible generational talent coming through in a draft right now, and you got a chance to get Arch Manning.
Well, he's got. Well, we got. I mean, I know, but we ain't seen enough of Arch yet. He got to do it for a whole season for me to really say anything about him yet.
But it's not even just him. We have so many good quarterbacks coming out of college in the next 2 years.
I get that, but come on, let's keep it a buck. Who Dallas gonna shoot for? They gonna shoot for Drew Allard, or they gonna shoot for Arch Manning? Let's keep it a buck.
Of course they are, but now they have the draft capital to do it, though. Whereas before they didn't.
I know, but like I said, let's pump the brakes on Arch Manning. Let's see what he does for a full year before we start to crown him. Let's see what he does this year.
I don't disagree with you on the Arch Manning thing. I'm just saying, in general, there are quarterbacks coming down the pike right now that this is just now they have the draft capital to do this. Whereas
you're right there, yes.
So again, everybody's making fun of Jerry Jones and this Dallas Cowboy trade. That's fine, but we've been screaming for years that Dak Prescott he sucks in the playoffs and blah. Well, now you can play a little bit more with Dak the next year or so. Now you have extra draft capital. You'll probably be like 500 or below. You have multiple first-round draft picks now the next 2 years, and now you can. And then if you really want to, let's say Arch Manning is as good as everybody thinks he's going to be. Now you can trade up and go get him.
Or you can. I mean, and Trey Hendrickson is a free agent next year. He's a free agent next year, and like I said, Zadarius Smith is a 2-time Pro Bowler. So I'm getting on the phone with him immediately.
Yeah,
what was it? It was the Lions he joined. I mean, you saw what he was able to bring after Aiden Hutchinson got hurt. I mean, the band can still go.
Yeah. So let's before we start now. Look, I don't like the fact that I'm defending the Dallas Cowboys, but let's see where this goes first before we just like, blah, this is stupid.
Because these are the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not defending them either way. I guess if you want to say you're opening me to perspectives, I'm not defending them, but I see all sides.
To be honest with you, I think it's a bonehead move. I don't think you trade a Micah Parsons.
But
if it was CD Lamb, understandable.
But you're not going to get 2 firsts for CD Lamb.
You can get a first, at least a second for him. But
for a wide receiver?
No. Yes. Look what they got for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, that was stupid.
But they got it, though.
Yeah,
they got it. They got it.
They got it, though.
But how many people right now? But right now, you're not. Right now, in this stage of the offseason, right before the season starts, what impact? CeeDee Lamb is not Randy Moss.
I mean, God, no, but he's still a top 5 receiver in the league.
Well, of course he is, but he's not Randy Moss, though. But like, if you're going to trade, if you're going to go get massive draft capital, what are you going to get? Who are you going to get more for? Micah Parsons or CeeDee Lamb?
You got to get more for CeeDee Lamb, but the thing is, like I stated, you don't trade a generational talent like that. You don't.
But
I don't think that
I don't disagree with you on a certain level. I agree, but it'd be different if they did what the Mavericks did and got like a bag of chips and a half-eaten Subway sandwich.
Boy, I do think, I don't know. I don't want to say comparing apples to oranges, but it was almost like in the Mavericks case, the owner didn't want Luka there. In the Cowboys case, I think Jerry actually did want to keep him, and then when he finally realized he wasn't, he had no choice.
Yeah, so then he still got 2 first-round draft picks out of it, and Kenny Clark, a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like I said, you was already going to be bad. Trading Micah Parsons is like trading Derek Thomas, in my humble opinion.
I get it, but all right.
Just like
I think where people are getting on Dallas is why the hell do you keep him in the NFC?
Again, I point out that Green Bay was one of the few teams that could actually have done this.
Oh no, I was, and I remember that episode. I was with you on that. I agreed.
And giving him the money. That's the big thing.
Yeah. It was the money. Green Bay could afford the money.
Giving him a contract that now he's the
highest paid non-quarterback in football.
Yes, he is. So, and how many teams were in a position like Green Bay, meaning Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah. We talked about that episode. I said it would have been either Green Bay or Atlanta. But Atlanta wouldn't have been able to give them the money until next year. Green Bay shot it out as soon as they made the trade.
So, and then this goes to my point. If Dallas is in a position like Green Bay, where they were smart with their cap space and everything else, then they're not trading Micah Parsons. They're not trading Micah. Did I say Micah? Micah Parsons.
These eyes, bro.
They're not trading him, but they're not in that position. So, I mean, we already know what Dak is. Jordan Love, if he's healthy, again, everybody's forgetting how well he played at the end of the year. Now, let's see what he actually is as a quarterback, but he was injured a lot last year.
I think he's got. I think Jordan Love still has plenty of upside because he's in. It's basically the same offense that Aaron Rodgers was running at his peak in Green Bay, basically, and he got to sit behind him and he got to learn a lot of his mannerisms, a lot of his actions, his throws, everything he does. It's like Aaron Rodgers mimicked a lot of it. So it's not like he didn't have it's not like he's learning from chopped liver. I mean, he learned from arguably the most talented quarterback to ever play the game. So I think, and he brings a lot of talent to this. So I think, so I'm this is why I'm kind of I'm a little bullish on the Green Bay Packers right now because I think Jordan Love's got killer hella upside.
I do too. I thought that even before this trade. I said it last week. I said it last week. I said everybody forgot that he was literally a going into last year. He was everybody's pick to win the MVP.
Yeah.
So now don't get me wrong. We don't really know yet. I was a little upset. I was a little miffed by a lot of his decision making this past year. But I think the offense was struggling to find an identity when you brought in Brandon. When you brought in Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a lot of offensive line. The offensive line was in a weird spot last year, too. They seem to have solidified that. And they went and got Golden, too, who looks.
He looks the part.
Holy.
He looks the part. Matthew Golden looks every bit the part.
Dude.
To come in and be the number one receiver, right out the gate. He looks every bit the part.
ball skills. Like, I just want to point out, too, now you got Golden and you got Jaden Reed. And Jaden Reed is a great slot wide receiver.
Christian Watson is the X factor of your offense. If Christian Watson stays healthy, oh my God.
I'm just saying, this Green Bay team, look at how well they ran the ball at the end of the year last year, like the second half of the season. I'm a little worried about corner, but this will make the secondary even better. Having a pass rusher like Micah Parsons, it's like having an elite quarterback. It will automatically, like an elite quarterback, you have like a Manning, Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, that level type of quarterback, it automatically makes your offensive line at least average because of what they can do when it comes to coverage and getting rid of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar on the defensive side of the ball. When you add a pass rush, like this makes everybody's job easier.
Exactly, because when you have a pass rusher to the level of Micah Parsons, it opens everything up. And the number one thing he's going to do is, if he's consistently getting pressure, he speeds the clock up of the opposing quarterback, which means he's not going to be comfortable. He's getting the ball out quicker, which means you're putting your DBs and your linebackers in more opportune situations, get turnovers and takeaways, get off the field to get your offense back on the field.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Man. You know what? This is why I'm glad that I have smart men like you guys on the show. Because Flash, although we disagree, I didn't look at it through that perspective. And plus, I'm not a Green Bay Packers fan, so I don't know how good Kenny Clark really is. I've seen him have some good moments, but you being a Green Bay Packers fan does give me a lot better perspective now.
I'll say this from the outside looking in at the Green Bay Packers. Kenny Clark, the past 3-4 years, when you're talking about the defensive tackle position, saying he was in top 10 conversations is not crazy.
No, I'm not saying that. But when I say that he's
not Micah Parsons level, but he's a top 10. But he's a top 10 DT in the league. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, the trade. Now that you look at it, it's not as bad as it first appeared.
No, because he's a guy. Again, I think he's a very good player. He's a guy that has a long career, has a smattering of Pro Bowl appearances, and is one of those like guys that goes down in, like, if he would have stayed with Green Bay his whole career, goes down as like, yeah, he was. But honestly, look, this is just, again, I'm a season ticket holder, so but you can take my opinion for for whatever it's worth. He was just a guy. He was just a guy. You didn't have to game plan for Kenny, for Kenny Clark. You didn't have to switch up your offensive line calls because how he moved over a spot. Like he was a really good player.
Yeah, like he's a really good defensive tackle, but he's not on Jeffrey Simmons. He's not on like Jeffrey Simmons level.
No, he's not even one of the top defensive players in the league. Now we got somebody that makes defensive coordinators get the squirts the night before because they got a nervous stomach.
So I have to ask you this. Look, do you see Micah elevating him as far as Rashawn Gary the way that Kevin Green kind of elevated Greg Lord? Because we all knew that Greg Lord was great, but once Kevin Green got there, you saw him take it to a whole nother level.
If Rashawn Gary's ever going to break out this season, this is the year to do it, because he does. Micah Parsons is going to take so much attention. Rashawn Gary can almost freelance and do whatever he wants on the other side, and he can raise all type of hell on the other side because Micah Parsons is going to be drawing a lot of the attention. If he's ever going to break out and like wreck shop, this is the year to do it.
Okay. I can't wait to see it, man. Already, I mean, look, this is what I mean when I say football creates its own drama. You don't have to go look for it. You ain't got to sit around here and look for a bad play or a bad foul. It's not like any other sport. It creates its own damn drama. And this is what I mean about football. This football, you don't have to go looking for it. It's going to find its way to you. That is why we love the game of football. And I'm glad that football is back. So I have to ask you this, Flash, going first. I'm sorry for asking him all the questions first, BRL, but he's the Green Bay Packers fan. I want to get his perspective.
I'm about to say he's the Packers fan, so of course, y'all are good. He's the Packers fan, so of course, you're going to want to get his insight on it because I mean, it's benefiting him the most as a Packers fan. So of course,
is the championship a bust for the Packers, or is the NFC North too difficult a path for them?
I think it's. I'm just going to be blunt. I think the Packers are one of the franchises that, I mean, yes, there's years where you have to be a little bit more realistic, but this is a franchise now that expects championships. Okay, as a season ticket holder, I expect to be a Super Bowl contender in some form or fashion almost every year. You're called Title Town. Okay? So you got to bring the titles. And as great as the Green Bay Packers organization has been in my lifetime, I'm a very blessed individual as a Packer fan and to live in Wisconsin and to grow up after 30 years of this team being terrible. We've been one of the top franchises in the league for the last 35 years. But one of the criticisms is we've had 2 top 10 quarterbacks of all time, and we have 2 Super Bowls out of it. And that's it. So that's another argument for another discussion for another day. But is the championship for bust? No, but the goal every year is to win titles.
I think
if you don't win a division.
Yeah, if you don't win a division, it's a failure. If you don't win a division, I think it's a failure if you don't win a division. Green Bay I think it's definitely a dog. I think it was already going to be a dog fight with them in Detroit, and I think now it's just amplified it even more.
It's gonna be some great football though.
Absolutely. I expect Green Bay and Detroit, honestly, to both be contending, if not making the playoffs this year. Championship or bust.
I just want a curious question.
Okay.
Let's say like both Detroit and Green Bay go 12-5 or 13-4. Okay. And Detroit wins the division on a coin flip, or they have a slightly better conference record or something silly like that.
Right.
That's not a failure to me in Green Bay's part. But if you're if Detroit goes like 12-5 or 13-4 and you go 10-9 or 10-7 or whatever it is, then that's a problem. I just want to clarify that, by the way, because it's Philly, Detroit, Green Bay. It's those 3 teams, and the Rams are in that.
Rams are in that discussion, yes.
As long as Stafford's healthy, that's the big question. So, is he healthy?
Well, him and Devontae Adams stay healthy. I think we need to put him in that conversation too. He's got to stay healthy too, because I don't think, as good as Puka Nacua is, he ain't gonna be able to. It kind of showed last year when you could kind of key in on him and focus in on him. That offense just ain't the same. Devontae Adams has to be healthy, and he's got to be maybe not peak Devontae Adams, but he's he's got to be Raiders Devontae Adams. He's got to be Raiders Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Because Raiders Devontae Adams was still like 1,100 yards and touching 10 touchdowns. I mean, he was still a dog.
Yeah.
He had that dog in him now. I think we already answered this question, but the Dallas Cowboys have over 21st round, almost 21st round picks over the next couple of years. Is it really, and I think he answered that question, that being Flash, is really a bonehead move if they pick the right players and do the reload right.
No.
It's really going to depend on how they do this. It's really going to depend. I know that, like I said, Kenny Clark's a good player. I'm not around the Green Bay franchise like I should be. but it's going to really depend on Jerry if he picks the right player. Now, would I have liked to see this trade occur around the draft time? Yes, because I believe this. I believe that had they made that trade during draft time and got these 2 first-round picks, they probably would have drafted Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to really depend on Jerry at this point because Jerry, he's picked some talented players. Let's not take anything away from Jerry. I think what's really lacking is the coaching.
Yeah, that's been my argument this entire time. Everybody makes fun of Jerry Jones, but honestly, he's put together some really good football teams.
I mean, and he's drafted a lot of talented pass rushers.
He's drafted very well when you look at like before he like guys before they got hurt. You look at guys like Sean Lee. You look at guys like Leighton Vander Esch. You look at gosh, what's the linebacker from Notre Dame? Jalen.
Dak Nguyen from Texas A&M. Dak Nguyen.
Him and the Notre Dame product. I can't remember his name. Gosh, I can't remember his name, but I know his first name is Jalen. I can't remember his last name.
The one who got cut in Green Bay. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Like before his injury, he was looking like he was about to turn into something serious. And then of course, you know, they drafted Micah Parsons. They've drafted DeMarcus Lawrence. They've drafted, Trayvon Diggs. I mean, it's not
DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah, they did DeMarcus Ware. It's not like Dallas has been a bad drafting team. They've been actually a really good drafting. They've been a really good drafting team.
So then again, I ask, why is this a bad trade for Dallas?
Yeah, like I said, it's a valid point when you look at it because Dallas has drafted pretty damn well.
Yeah,
you know, it took Jerry a while to get a hang of it because in the late 90s it was like a lot of bust.
Yeah,
but
I you know, I don't know. I like it for both teams. I think this is a rare win-win in my opinion when it comes to a trade.
And you still have a playoff caliber team on your hands.
Yeah,
when you look at Dallas.
They're a wild card contending playoff team. Yeah,
nobody's saying they're winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're a wild card contending team.
But absolutely, they are.
PSP, what's going on? How you doing, brother?
What's up, PSP?
Going on, man. But I will say this: it's going to really depend on Jerry how he drafts. And if he gambles, because you know he is a gambler, so he's traded for Amari Cooper, he's traded for Joey Galloway, he's paid a lot of money for Zeke. You know he is a gambler, and you know he gambled this year. He went and got George Pickens to go opposite of CeeDee Lamb. So it's going to really depend on if he's willing to number one gamble. And it's going to really depend on how he drafts. Like I said, Dallas is not a bad drafting team. They draft great like hell. And they've been able to draft good receivers. They've been able to draft good wideouts. If you look at the wideouts they've had, it reads like a who's who. They was able to draft Patrick Creighton. They was able to draft Miles Austin. They've been able to draft Dez Bryant. They've been able to draft a CeeDee Lamb. They've been able to draft a lot of great guys and bring in the right guys. They brought in Amari Cooper for a couple of years, had a couple of brilliant years. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does as far as drafting is concerned. And you just never know. He might be getting ready for a big-ass reload down there in Dallas. It might be like, look, if we don't go anywhere with Dak over the course of the next couple of years, I need to have my ass prepared for years to come because this might be it.
Well, that's the other thing too is like, so let's say they get a franchise quarterback out of this trade. I mean, you know, man, you get a Manning out of this. Let's say the kid actually turned out to be a Manning.
Yeah. And with that being said, we have a special guest coming on board. That would be the greatest, PSP. How you doing, man?
What's good, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, indeed. We can, brother. What are your thoughts on the Green Bay Dallas trade?
Jerry. What you been on? I mean, champ, I told you, mom. I'm starting to feel like more and more you becoming a Dallas Cowboys fan after what Mama Champ has done to you, man. You're gonna have to convince Mama Champ to stop being a Dallas Cowboy fan, man, because I don't know what you're gonna have to do to. I don't know what you're gonna do, man. Look, I'm trying to figure out which trade was worse for Dallas, this or the Luka trade. Now, obviously, the Luka trade was more worse because obviously no one anticipated that. And Micah this time wanted to be traded, but Jerry, you have no one to blame but yourself. You wouldn't even talk to Micah Parsons' agent. Mike was able to get traded elsewhere and get more money, making him the highest non-paid quarterback in the NFL. And we heard, and for Washington, you know, we couldn't get a deal with Terry McLaurin. Hey, we finally reached that deal, 3-year, $96 million. Meanwhile, Dallas, and I'll say it, and I'll say it again, champ, and BRF, you said it as well a couple of weeks ago. The worst thing that ever happened with the Dallas Cowboys organization was when they moved on from Jimmy Johnson, replaced him with Barry Switzer, won the Super Bowl, because that gave Jerry Jones the validation. I don't need a great head coach. I don't need a great GM. I'm going to do it my way. And Jerry Jones continuously hires yes men. And he's going to do things the way that he sees fit. Jerry is not changing. When you have the money and when you're that old as Jerry is, you're not changing. You're going to be exactly where you are, or you're going to be worse. As for who won the trade, it's obviously the Packers. They had to give up 2 first-round picks.
But why did Dallas lose this trade?
You give up 2 first-round picks, and you give up Kenny Clark just to get Micah Parsons, who is at the prime of his career, 25, 26 years old.
Okay, you're right. You're right. But in what way did Dallas lose? Because
I just don't think with Dallas, in the end of the, even if they have those first picks and draft them, they're still not going to go far. We've seen what the Dallas Cowboys have been for 30 years under Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
and yes,
they've had Micah Parsons, and they've been the same thing. So what's the difference in trading Micah Parsons now and getting multiple first-round draft picks and a good quality starter still in his 20s, by the way, if they're going to be the same team with or without Parsons?
But with Jerry Jones running the show, at the end of the day, do you trust Flash? Do you trust Jerry Jones at the end of the day? And he's done a good job with draft picks. Do you trust Jerry Jones at the end of the day going this far?
If I'm giving him 2 first-round draft picks, do I trust him to do the right thing by his history? Yeah.
I don't.
But how?
Because I think with Jerry Jones, you've maxed out.
If you're going to argue that would I trust him to hire the right head coach? Oh God, no. Then no.
Oh, he's not going to hire. No, he's not going to hire the right head coach. He's going to get the right types of players. But at the end of the day,
but that was the question that you posed, though. The question that you posed was, do I trust him to do the right thing with those draft picks?
He's gonna get a good draft pick. But at the end of the day, Flash, what is that still gonna result for the Dallas Cowboys? Is that going to result to getting to a conference championship game? Because he's done his part, Jerry, as far as a GM. You've gotten Zach Martin. You've gotten Ty Smith. You've gotten Travis Frederick. You've gotten Dak Prescott. You've gotten Ezekiel Elliott. You've gotten CeeDee Lamb. And Micah Parsons. You've accumulated an excellent amount of draft picks. Still in all, what has that resulted as far as getting far in the playoffs? Because you've had numerous opportunities, Jerry, to at least get to 1, if not 2, NFC Championship games.
Every NFC team has made it since '96.
I still want to. I want to point out. Again, this is the thing. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here, but I do want to point out that the Dez Bryant catch game, if that goes completely different, we're not even having this conversation right now.
Okay, yeah,
If Tony Romo doesn't fumble the field goal against the Seahawks, we're not having this conversation right now.
Or the game in which the Giants, in which he threw that interception, in which T.O. was crying and saying, "That's my quarterback, that's my teammate." Yeah. So that's bad luck has happened with the Dallas Cowboys. I understand that.
And to be truthful, like this is also the same guy that went and hired Bill Parcells after getting rid of Jimmy Johnson.
I understand.
I
understand that.
Is one of the least yes men in NFL history.
But Flash, think about it. Jason Garrett, he hired Jason Garrett, who was a yes man. Okay, Mike McCarthy. You have, in fairness to you, you have had more support from Mike McCarthy than I've said it before. He was a product of Favre and Rodgers. You actually said that he actually made Rodgers. He actually did a lot more for Rodgers. Okay,
he fixed our career.
Fair enough, but still in all, with Jerry, at the end of the day, with Jerry, is Jerry Jones going to change his ways? What does it say about you as an owner, as a GM, by not even taking the time to interview his own agent and how the way he treated Micah Parsons? What does that say about you as an organization? I'm sorry, Champ. Go ahead.
Quick question, and I get what everybody's saying, but I'm just going to ask this question because I think Emmitt Smith said this a long time ago. Is it really Jerry that's causing the downfall of the team? But based on what Flash is saying, is it really the damn players that need to step up their game in a lot of situations? Because hell, Jerry's not out there getting his ass gashed on those runs. That's the defense.
It's a culmination. It's a culmination of things, Champ. Jerry, at the same time, he can't be absolved because he keeps saying the buck stops with him. We have had constant conversations. Remember, Champ, it took Stephen Jones to convince him not to draft Johnny Manziel into drafting Zach Martin.
Okay.
But the thing is this. It's kind of like Marty Schottenheimer when you put it in that perspective. Was it Marty Schottenheimer's fault that Ernest Bynum fumbled on the goal line? Was it Marty Schottenheimer's fault that Lawrence caught the interception and didn't get down like he steady? And the thing is this. When he hired some of those coaches, because Ray Phillips was a hell of a coach. I don't care what anybody says.
Yes, he was.
And did those players and did those coaches do enough in order for you to get kept at the end of the day?
No, they didn't do. They didn't
and
do
they
enough.
had the talent. And they had the talent in order for them to produce. When you look at that Wade Phillips team, they had DeMarcus Ware, they had Terrell Owens, they had Patrick Creighton, they had a lot of those great players on those teams, but they just did not deliver. So is that Jerry's fault, or is that the player's fault for letting that happen? And the thing is, Wade Phillips was a hell of a coach. He led two teams to the playoff. He changed the culture in Buffalo when they hadn't been to the playoffs since the Jim Kelly and the Thurman Thomas days.
I also want to point out that Jason Garrett won a Coach of the Year too.
So he did win the Coach of the Year.
So,
but at the same time, okay, he won Coach of the Year, but still, does that make him a good head coach?
I would. What? Yeah.
But,
yeah.
If that's
Mr. Clap,
he won Coach of the Year, but he didn't build off Coach. He didn't build off of that. I'll say that he won Coach of the Year, but after that it was a lot of meh after that.
I don't disagree with you, but his record was, well, let's see, 85 and 66. That's a 0.5. That's over 500. Okay, 1 Coach of the Year, 3 NFC East championships. Okay, like again, a poor call away from going to an NFC championship game. And talking about how Jerry only hires yes men. Bill Parcells again.
We knew that one going. We knew that one going. We knew that one going. We knew that one going to work. I knew that one going to work.
Bill Parcells never wanted TO. Jerry wanted to bring TO because he felt like, look, if we ain't going to win, we might as well bring TO in because we know he's going to get your popcorn ready. We all know TO is going to find a way to sell tickets.
Well, yeah.
And to his credit, when he fired Bill Parcells, when Bill Parcells resigned, they went 13-3 next year, the very next year with Wade Phillips. And Jason Garrett was on that staff. So again, do we blame it all on Jerry or are we absolving the players at a certain point?
I
know two things could be true.
It's a top to bottom. It's a top to bottom type of thing. It's top to bottom. It starts at the head and it work its way down.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point. I'm not saying that Jerry. When I argue like when I'm in the Jerry Jones camp arguing for it, it's not that I'm arguing saying like he's the greatest GM or coach or owner of all time, but I am saying the fact that like he's put together really, really good football teams. We can make fun of the Johnny Manziel thing all day, but at the end of the day, as well, like dude's put together some great offensive lines. He's drafted some, he's gotten good quarterbacks. By the way, late in the draft or undrafted.
Tony Romo, an undrafted free agent out of Eastern Illinois. Dak Prescott in the 4th round. Flash, I understand that, but at the same time, if you're Jerry, when does it come to a point where you step out of the way and not be the mess for the Cowboys' problems? I've mentioned this on my Champs pod multiple times. Don't you find it weird or strange that Jerry Jones is the first one doing press conferences? Jerry Jones having a weekly radio show. I mean, the Cowboys with all the problems or distractions that they have, Jerry, why couldn't you hire a Bill Belichick? Why couldn't you hire a Sean Payton?
He hired Parcells and it went awful.
But after that, okay, after Jason Garrett, after Mike McCarthy, don't you think Jerry, for once, you'll say, you know what? I'm gonna try to do something different. I'm gonna try a head coach in a different way, and I'm gonna stay out the way. But Jerry's not gonna do that. Until.
But this is my point, though. He's tried different types of head coaches. He has. He's gone from Parcells to Jason Garrett to more player friendly to Wade Phillips to Mike McCarthy to like. Don't get me wrong. There's there's Chan Gailey and Dave Campo in there. But
Chan Gailey wouldn't work for Fat Baby's ass. I'm just gonna be real.
So I'm not saying again, but like he's done things differently. And then again, and he let Bill Parcells again, pick the groceries, as Parcells famously put it. And let's be honest, under Parcells, they were ass. He was starting Quincy Carter. He didn't even want to start Romo. That's part of the reason why Jerry Jones got rid of him, because Parcells didn't want to start Romo.
But we can't ignore Jerry how the way
he handled on that nose candy too, by the way.
What?
Right. Quincy Carter was on that nose candy.
That too, yeah.
He was. But we can't ignore what Jerry, how the way he handled it. Think about it, champ. You've often brought up numerous times on my pod, Ziku, he intentionally called Micah Parsons Michael. My thing is with Jerry, you are trying to develop you are trying to set a deal with Micah Parsons. This ain't this ain't Champ, because Champ to this day still mispronounces Micah Parsons' name. He calls him MICAH Parsons, but he doesn't do it intentionally. I called him
MICAH earlier because Champ does it.
But with Jerry, you know the name. You know how much the value Micah Parsons is. How does it help Micah Parsons with what the things that you are saying? And I understand Jerry's not changing.
I did say that earlier. I said if anything is bad out of this, it's the way that this was like handled in general. That I 100% agree with. There is no disagreement that I brought that up earlier.
And you probably should have traded him when you was in the draft. You probably could have got a little bit more for it. You know,
you would have got a lot. You would have got a lot more draft time. You would have got a lot more.
Health-wise, you could have gotten yourself a couple of maybe 3 first-round picks, maybe a second or a third-round pick.
And
you could have gotten much more draft compensation.
Maybe again. Sorry. Again,
see, that's Jerry Jones calling you right now, asking you.
Like, thanks, bro. I got an assistant job for you.
Man, middle of the show and flash on the hotline bling, boy. Man, I tell you.
Gary, how you doing, buddy? That's right.
Yeah. All right, Rocco's bottom line. Don't let me catch you doing something you ain't supposed to do.
That was a show back in the day. Don't hate on Rocco's mom.
But Champ and BRF are upset though, because remember before there were reports about could Micah Parsons be traded to the Atlanta Falcons? You know, because they needed.
I'm not upset. I've said honestly at the end of the day, I don't think we should do it. So I'm not really that upset.
Yeah, he did say I'm the only fucking delusional Atlanta fan here. BRF is I'm for real about mine. I'm just gonna be real. I am the only delusional because I bleed red and black.
It's so funny, dude. Like, dude,
I'm a delusional Atlanta fan.
I totally there's a headline tomorrow. Tom Brady might come out of retirement. Champion here. We gotta sign Tom Brady.
I would do that shit.
I would literally find the hardest small object and I would try to throw it at Champ's head if he really said that.
I'm starting to believe. I believe Champ is only saying that because he's thanking God that thank God Micah Parsons was not traded to the New Orleans Saints. He was happy as hell that Micah Parsons is not going to New Orleans Saints. Can you imagine?
I think the NFL and their fans as a collective whole would all be pissed off if Micah Parsons got traded to the New Orleans Saints. Because how the hell are you in cap hell and still able to pull off a move like that? I think the league as a whole would be a little upset.
But to piggyback on that, I think that speaking of the Saints, hell, why not call up the Saints and say, hey, how about one of these first round picks?
Cam Jordan?
And get you out of that little cap hell. We'll take over his contract. I mean, you got to get on the phone with somebody in order to get a somewhat. And Cam Jordan, although he's long in the teeth at this point, he's a hell of a player.
He's still good.
He's still great.
He's still a very good player. But Flash, you have to admit, now with this trade, has Dallas gotten any better? Because I believe they've gotten worse. Because now without Micah, they've had issues with their defense. They're about a week away from facing the Eagles, and no Micah Parsons.
Okay, were they going to beat the Eagles anyways?
No, I didn't.
Why does it matter?
Because I get tired of the Cowboys getting all the attention. I've said it on Champ's Pod. Look, I would rather see the Commanders, the Rams, or any other team in the season opener against the Rams. But Champ was like, no, Dallas Cowboys, they had a good offseason. Look at what they did by bringing in George Pickens. Look at the type of offseason. See, Champ, this is why I've been trying to tell you about the Dallas Cowboys, man. At some point in time, we got to stop rewarding mediocrity. We got to
stop rewarding mediocrity. Okay. All right. Let me hop in on this a little bit. Okay. So, because we brought up the whole was Dallas going to beat Philly on opening night? Okay. Here's the thing. Dallas might not have been aren't going to be predicted to beat the Eagles. Dallas with Micah Parsons we would be talking about this game being a lot closer with Micah Parsons as opposed to without Micah Parsons. With Micah Parsons, you could see the possibility of an upset because regardless of what people may think, Micah Parsons, when you think of game changer, that's Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is probably one of in terms of a defensive game changer, Like you could like T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, guys like that. He is up there in terms of can literally flip a game on his head with like one or two big plays.
Yeah.
And the thing and the thing is you'll have that. I mean, and here's the thing though, Dak Prescott, God bless him. He has his moments, and he has his moments when it comes to certain big games. Some teams he'll show up, some teams he won't. I'm just saying, crazier things have happened on opening night if they had kept Micah Parsons.
Wait. You'll all just argue that basically Jerry Jones is the most incompetent asshole to walk in.
I did not.
No. If you're talking about most incompetent, back then that would be James Dolan. If you're talking about most incompetent, that would probably be James Dolan.
No, we're not. We weren't saying he was incompetent. I don't know. I just thought the move was a little crazy at first. But when you look at it and you actually analyze it, it actually makes sense on both sides. Both parties. It makes sense.
I think again, we look. I still think I don't think his head coaching choices. I think the Schottenheimer one was a little weird, but
that was stupid.
The Schottenheimer.
I'm sorry. That came out a little tough. My bad.
I'm not surprised with that.
That came out a little hard. My bad.
I'm not surprised with that at all.
But this is kind of what this is me just talking out of my ass right now. It's not like I have any kind of sources or anything, but this is what I think Jerry Jones is doing. I think right now he knows this is not a Super Bowl team. We all agree this isn't a Super Bowl team. They're not even
barely a wildcat team.
Even with MICAH, they wouldn't have been second in the division. I'm
gonna throw some at both of you.
We all agree that it's Philly and Washington, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, yes.
All right. So after the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if they trade him. Now you got two first-round draft picks, but you still have a ticket-selling team with CeeDee Lamb, Dak, and some talent. You can still sell tickets and have a good team, and you just possibly got enough draft capital to replace Dak when you let him go.
Is this the Cowboys' way of trying to get Arch Manning out of Texas?
That's what we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
We were talking about that before you came on.
That's why I argue that this is actually a really good trade for Dallas. I'm not saying specifically Arch Manning, but you have a slew of college quarterbacks coming out in the next couple of years, and they need to replace Dak at some point. Well,
but what do you do with Dak's contract?
What?
How do you trade Dak? What do you get in return for Dak?
There's a team that needs a quarterback, even a mediocre one, every damn year. I'm going to just be real. Because the thing is, Pittsburgh, they haven't really been bad enough in order to draft a college quarterback worth their salt. So if he gets traded to, let's say, the Steelers or somewhere, and they're known for making bad trades, that can happen. If, hey, let's just say if, for the sake of argument, Geno doesn't work out in Vegas, you could possibly get traded, even swap trade. There's a lot of things that you can do with a contract in order to make sure. And I'm looking up Dak Prescott's contract right about now. I'm just going to be very, very honest with you. In 2029, 4 years from now, that contract is over with. So he's on the contract for 2026, 2027. And the franchise can void that contract in 2029. So it's really a 4-year contract at this point.
It is a 4-year deal. He's going to be traded. If they can guarantee like Arch Manning or somebody like that next year's draft, his base salary for this year and next year is around $2 million. Then it spikes up to 40. He'll get traded after next year, and then whoever gets traded will probably rework his contract. Now look, if Jerry goes and fumbles these draft picks and whatever, fine. But
He did fumble with these draft picks lately because he hasn't still find a running back.
Well, he just drafted 2 good backs in the draft. I think he drafted the one from Clemson.
He drafted Jaden Blue.
And Jaden Blue. So here's the thing. I want to point out something to this past summer. Ben Johnson was the hot commodity at head coach for whatever team got him. Okay, that was the number one head coaching prospect. We all agree on that.
Yes, indeed.
If you're Ben Johnson, you're looking at the situation right now. Let's say, like, if you're Jerry, I'm sure Jerry went after him. I almost guarantee he did. But if you're Ben Johnson, where are you going to go? You going to Chicago or are you going to go to Dallas?
Oh, you're going to Chicago. He made the right choice.
Oh, but that doesn't mean that Jerry. Jerry just couldn't get him. So, like, I don't know. Let's just see how this plays out when it comes to the draft picks. That's kind of my thing.
I don't know. How it plays out. I think Jerry is going to find some good players in the draft, but at the end of the day, with Jerry running the show, we've seen you draft a hell of a good players. Ty Smith, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and how far you've gotten, Jerry. And with Jerry, at some point in time, you're getting up there in age. And Champ, you before Jerry handled this intentionally calling Micah Parsons Michael, and how the way you handled it unprofessionally. Jerry Jones, his ego got in the way. And this is another example why with ego tripping. I've said it before with ego tripping. Jerry, you got to be very careful. And Jerry's problem is that he hasn't evolved or gotten ahead with the times. And as long as Jerry Jones is continuously being the owner and general manager for the Dallas Cowboys, they're not going to get to a Super Bowl. Forget winning a Super Bowl. Get to one or even get a conference championship game, because, Jerry, you've drafted hell of good players and you have to your credit, but you still haven't gotten to a conference championship game. Yes, we can look at the players, and yes, they have come up short. But at the same time, Jerry, you said it yourself, the buck stops with you. You want credit, right? So just like you want credit when things go well, you have to get credit when things go bad. And you're the one who's purchasing the groceries. That's like Champ. Champ says, I'm on a diet. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But how am I gonna be on a diet if I keep ordering Five Guys? If I keep ordering bacon cheeseburgers and fries all the time?
You fat finger Champ.
He does it to himself. He does it. I don't do that.
I can't with you two, bro. I can't.
I mean, he's absolutely right. But the thing is, like I said, no Five Guys, no cheesecake, no nothing. I'm on 4. Wait a minute. Let me get the book out. Past 4 months. But yeah. The biggest indulgence I've had is Chick-fil-A. That was it. But I'm
telling you right now, when we finally had that face to face, and we meet up and we kind of hang out a little bit, you might not want to hang around me that day because you're gonna eat that goddamn day.
Hey, look, hey,
we gonna have a good day, and then it's like, hey, this your day, and then after that you get back to what you doing. But hey, I'm just saying, we gonna treat it that day, boy. We gonna hit it, man. I'm just saying.
I got you, but
Flash, you gotta love it. Flash, you gotta love it, because at the end of the day, we get to see Cowboys fans through pain. There's nothing more fun to see a Dallas Cowboy fan through pain. I apologize to Mama Champ. I wish nothing on Mama Champ. You've done a hell of a job raising a great son in Champ. But them Cowboys.
Shout out Jabbar. Shout out to Jabbar. I wonder how he feeling.
Ooh, boy, that's pain. No. The funniest thing is I haven't even called my mama yet. I'm not. I haven't even called her.
I bet she's probably throwing away her TV from all
I haven't
we
even
know.
called her yet. I called her earlier. I'm like right before the trade happened. Like, oh hell no! I put down the phone after that. I put down the phone.
I'm trying to think if there's if Dallas, because see, don't get me wrong, I grew up and I'm the oldest out of this whole group, so I've a lot of the heartbreak from the early '90s Cowboys, but it's been so long that now I'm just kind of like, are the Dallas Cowboy fans still obnoxious? Sure, yes. But they're not like I get glee when the Yankees lose in the World Series.
The hell yes.
Like there's like genuine glee when that happens. Okay,
fellas.
It's like when the Chiefs, like, oh, I'll tell you this, all the Chiefs fans right now. That's the team that I love watching them. Just
wait a minute, what just happened? BRF, because you look so fucking disappointed right about now.
Breaking news from the world of Major League Baseball. Kyle Schwarber has hit 4 home runs against the Atlanta Braves tonight.
Wow.
And they are absolutely thrashing. Yeah, it's the second time this year a guy has hit 4 homers against the Braves this year. Eugenio Suarez did it when he was at the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Braves won that game. Oh, they ain't winning this one.
But honestly, I don't think anyone was surprised that Micah Parsons was traded. It was only a matter of time that he was going to be traded. And when he requested the trade, and when you saw him laying on the trainer's table, it was almost as if a kid in kindergarten class was taking a nap. And when he was walking out and eating some nachos, you can just tell from that moment something was going to happen, because he wanted out of here. And Jerry can say whatever he wants, but Jerry, he made your bed, you lay in it, you got the first round picks. Okay, I'm quite sure you're going to get excellent players, but in the end, what's going to, as far as you get into a conference championship game, Jerry? You hire Brian Schottenheimer to be the head coach. Are you going to actually sit back and allow him to do the job? Because that's the thing, champ. You said if this were Marty Schottenheimer, hey, Jeremy, you did your thing. Brian Schottenheimer, okay, we'll see how it goes. Is Jerry Jones going to step back and let people that he hired doing the job? And my thing is no, because of Jerry's ego has gotten in the way. I don't think that he will sit back and allow people to do the job. And this is what the Dallas Cowboys are subjecting themselves into. And to BRF's point, every team in the NFC has made it to a conference championship game more recently than the Dallas Cowboys. Why is that? Well, because teams have evolved. And particularly Washington, because finally, thank God, we got rid of Dan Snyder, the owner, moved on, got a new owner, and hired the right type of people. And in our second year with the new ownership, conference championship game. First time since 1991. As Don King once said, only in America.
And it's crazy to think about, considering realignment was just in 2002. It's crazy to think about that we've had realignment since the last time the Dallas Cowboys have made an NFC Championship game, and they still ain't got there yet. It's astonishing and baffling to think about.
And they've had good seasons. 2009, Tony Romo in 2014, Flash, as you mentioned, the Des Bryant game. That was Tony Romo, one of his best seasons, 34 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I think he was one of the finalists for the MVP. There was Aaron Rodgers, there was DeMarco Murray. Tony Romo was up there, but still, they couldn't get the job done. Dak Prescott, his rookie year, one of the best rookie seasons. They were that close to winning that game. It took every bit of Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
Just keep that away from that.
I'm just you know, and this goes to my point of how hard it is to win in this league. You know, I know we've been kind of like our warped view of what it takes to win this league has been warped by guys like Mahomes and Brady. But it's really hard to win. This is the thing that I pointed out as a Packer fan earlier. In the last 35 years, we've had two top 10 all-time quarterbacks, and we have 2 Super Bowls to show for it.
I mean, y'all are essentially the NFC version of the Colts. Because when you think about the Colts, they've had Johnny U, they've had Burt Jones, they've had Peyton Manning,
and Andrew Luck.
And they have Andrew Luck. Throughout that time, they only have 2.
Yep.
And Burt Jones is MVP.
It's hard to win in this league. It's really
it is. No, it is hard. It's very complicated. But
I also want to say something else. Does Jerry Jones get credit for the early '90s dynasty or not?
He has to. You got to give them credit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, ultimately in the front office, he's the one that's calling these shots and making these moves, so he has to get credit.
So he's responsible for a dynasty too.
Is this a fair assessment? I have to ask this. Was Jerry Jones to the Dallas Cowboys what Jerry Krause was to the Chicago Bulls?
Ooh. That's a good comparison.
Krause
a lot of the blame, not enough credit.
That is probably one of the better analogies you could have came up with.
The 2 of them had huge egos. Krause did say to Phil Jackson before the 97-98 season, Phil, I don't care if this team goes 8-2-0, you're gone the following season. And yeah, Jerry, coincidence, had huge egos. But I mean, that is a fair analogy.
But if I could interrupt real quick, PSP.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Credit, you have to think about this. You had a chance you had a well-established coach in Tom Landry. If you draft those same players, could he have led those guys to a Super Bowl? Probably yes. But the thing is this. When you talk about Jerry Krause, he took a big risk on hiring Phil Jackson. Remember, Phil Jackson was coaching in Puerto Rico. Remember, if you watch The Last Dance, literally gunfights will break out at games sometimes. And you saw what just happened with DeMarcus Cousins down there. So he took a big risk. And plus, Doug Collins, when you think about
Michael's guy.
Yeah, when you think about some of the best years that Jordan had before he was winning NBA Finals, some of his best years were under Doug Collins.
And
so
I also want to point out that Bulls team was getting old.
You talking about the 97-98 season?
Yeah.
Rodman was 37. Jordan was 35. Pippen was 32, going on 33. Now, in fairness to Krause and Weinsdorf, Pippen signed the contract. Remember that I think it was that 7-year, 18, 20-something million dollar contract. And Weinsdorf made it clear to Pippen, don't sign the contract. You're selling yourself short. If you sign the contract and if you outperform the contract, I don't want to hear from you again. Don't come back and ask me for more. The problem with Krause get away, and he did prematurely ended the dynasty because Jordan was still 35. Yes, he was. Years old.
Go ahead. That's PSP. There you go.
I'm 37 years old. Okay, despite his antics or whatever, still capable of giving you 10, 12 rebounds a game. Now, Pippen, that's the thing that you had to ask yourself with Pippen. Because after that season, would Pippen deal with the Bulls? Because after that season, he went to Houston for obviously more money. And Phil decided to leave Chicago. But my thing is with Jerry, you have some, you own Dallas Cowboys. You're worth $10 billion, over $10 billion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, $10 billion.
Yeah, you have been running the show since what, 1989. At some point in time, Jerry, shouldn't you evolve? Shouldn't you change? Shouldn't you change your way? Look, I mean, for us, we don't like a lot of for us to be this, and in order for us to get involved with today's times, we're just gonna have to do things that we necessarily don't want to do, and that's just unfortunately how it is. I think with the Packers, they won this one with Micah Parsons because I think to get a player at the prime of his career, for him to go elsewhere to Green Bay, a rich Super Bowl franchise, and to go else, and when you player normally trade a player from conference is saying, if I'm going to trade Micah Parsons and if I'm Dallas, why would I have to deal with him if I'm going to deal? Why would I deal in the playoff? I would rather deal with him in the Super Bowl. If I'm Dallas, I trade him to the AC. And champion, I don't know, you are flashing with the Colts. I'm afraid, is this the end for Anthony Richardson?
Oh, I was going to get to that a little bit later, but I think it is, unless he could come back and get some more coaching. I don't think he was a real I think we covered that last week. He was a real project quarterback to begin with. If you really want me to be honest with you, you
were never sold on him in the first place. Really, you watched a lot of SEC football.
Yes, I was really never sold on him or Will Levis at this point. So I really think that he was a project. But to piggyback on that, on Jerry, the same way it took Jerry Krause and Jerry Reinsdorf a lot of courage in order to hire Phil Jackson, it took Jerry a lot of courage in order to hire a college coach, that being from the University of Miami, in order to bring you into the Dallas Cowboys. He was up under a lot of heat in order to do that. I mean, in order to pay Herschel Walker an exit bonus of $2 million so that he could trade it. Because remember, when he went into Jerry's office, said, "Look, you trade me, I'm retired." So he said that, "You trade me, I'm retired." So to pay him that type of money in order for you to leave, $2 million back then, quarterbacks wasn't making that kind of money back then. You know, it's in 1989. It wasn't until the money went up later on, especially for a running back. But I don't think that he gets his just due. And just like God rest his soul, Jerry Krause, although he had a hand in drafting guys like Ron Artest, although he had a hand in drafting Derrick Rose, a hand in drafting Elton Brand, guys like that. Unfortunately, they wasn't able to get the championships and win. And that's the only thing that we remember at this point, other than they drafted great players. It's like, well, you didn't win without Jordan. Well, Jordan went to Washington, and he wasn't winning without Krause and those guys.
Two things could be true, champ. Because again, you talked about it with Krause. Players don't win championships, organizations do. Well, Jordan tried to do that same approach as an owner, I believe, in Charlotte. How did that turn out? And when Krause, and when Jordan retired the second time, how did it work out? So two things can be true. Be as successful if it were not for Krause's architect. The only thing that Krause did not do was draft Jordan, but everything else around Jordan by building around Jordan. But at the same time, with Krause, even though you say players don't win championships, organizations do, it's not easy to get players like Jordan every now and then.
Not easy at all. That is a valid point. Will await anything do you want to add, BRF?
Honestly, the whole situation is, I don't know, it's I felt like as sports media, sports fans, we were overdue we were a little bit overdue as far as like having like a real talking point to really like hit on as far as like, take, the headliner, the top story, something like this. We were overdue for something like this. So I think it's just going to create a lot of it's going to create a lot of healthy conversation. I will definitely say that it's going to create a lot of healthy conversation.
Okay, pipe bomb. Who's under more pressure in order to win the championship right about now? Between the two players that got traded from Dallas, Luka or Micah Parsons. Real quick.
Luka. Who's under more pressure to win the championship, Luka or Micah Parsons? I think it's Luka still.
Oh, Luka. There's more pressure on individual NBA players like that. The only thing you compare it to would be like a quarterback in the NFL.
You've often said it before, champ. They need to move the franchise from LeBron to Luke. Luke done a tremendous job in the offseason. He's about 30 in the offseason. I mean, he's been on his fitness and exercise regimen, all thanks to Undisputed World Champ. But look, Luka's under the most pressure. With Green Bay, you still have to wonder with Jordan Love. You still have to wonder with the injuries. I like Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur is a good enough head coach. But there are other things you got to worry about with Green Bay. But with the Lakers, it starts and ends with Luka.
Okay. Awesome. Let's shift gears. Let's go from the big city of Dallas up to the small suburbs of Cleveland. SHEDEUR Sanders. Are we being unrealistic and have we lost our minds about him at this point? Because there's been a lot of discourse on the internet about, I don't think, look, I'm going to just be real. I am a SHEDEUR Sanders fan. Let me let that come out of my mouth before I say this. But there's been a lot of unadulterated bull junk coming out of the, now, with what Eric Dickerson said, we covered that last week. Eric Dickerson said, they were going to humble him in the draft and stuff like that. That could be true, what have you. It's still innuendo at the end of the day. But when people talk about, oh, how come they didn't put it with the first or the second string or what have you, that's very unrealistic. You're in the last game of the damn preseason, the very last game. And let's just really be honest about it. When you're on the last game of the preseason, you're playing with guys who are fighting for their lives on practice squad and like the third and fourth string. Guys that probably are not going to ever play in the NFL. And I'll say this. When you are a quarterback, no matter where they're drafting you, in some stage of the game, you're going to get put in situations where they expect you to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. They expect you to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And if you don't believe that, go back and look at the Hard Knocks. I think it was like in 2011 when Mark Sanchez was there and they was trying to bring in a backup quarterback. And the guy said, y'all are expecting me to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. What do I have to do in order to do that? He said, that's exactly why we put you in those situations to see. Because it could be 1 year where all of these star receivers and all these star players are hurt. What are you going to do then? And that's why they put his ass on the practice squad. The guy who was supposed to be backing up Mark Sanchez, he ended up going from a backup to be on the practice squad. But I think a lot of guys, a lot of fans, before this year, people have not watched preseason football, and they don't understand what the hell the preseason is. Preseason, you're going to be playing with the scrubs. You're going to be playing with guys who are trying to make the team, who are going to be cast off, who are going to make the practice squad. That's what you're going to be playing with. You're not going to be playing with Pro Bowlers and All Pros. You're not going to even be playing with guys who are former Pro Bowlers, All Pros. You're going to probably be playing with veteran journeymen. That's what you're playing with. Now, granted, SHEDEUR did make the team. He has made the team. He's on the 52-man roster. He's number 3 as a quarterback. But there's some holes in his game. You can't go outside of the pocket and expect to make it. You can't be trying to play hero ball like you played at Colorado. You have to step up in the pocket. When you step outside of the pocket, there's no more blocking. I think a lot of fans, this is the first preseason they have watched. It's kind of like WNBA fans. This is the first 2 seasons they have seen all its existence. They haven't really been watching it. So, of course, all of these all this little discourse is going to happen about protected players and crap like that, not realizing that everybody's getting their ass beat. Remember, hey, look, if you don't believe that, look at Lexi Hole. Lexi Hole right now, she's wearing sunglasses. She got hit last night. She has 2 black eyes. So, yeah. So I think that a lot of fans are blowing it out of proportion, and they're not really watching preseason. They haven't really watched preseason like we watch it. We watch preseason. We look at certain players, see who's coming up, see what the rookies are going to do, see who can possibly be that undrafted free agent that can possibly come in and do some things. But I don't think a lot of fans have really watched it over the years and understand what preseason really is. Whoever wants to go first, y'all have the floor.
I think with Shedeur Sanders, he's not ready yet. He's still raw. As time goes on, he'll improve. Do I think he'll be an all-time great quarterback? Probably not, but I think he'll be a decent, solid enough quarterback in the NFL. I was listening to what to say last week. Look, even though Shedeur Sanders, I don't think he deserved to be falling all the way to the 5th round, but at the same time, the reports about him in pre-draft workouts, him pissing off Brian Daboll, if that is true, then that's on you. Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to take this as a job, especially with the position you play at quarterback. Because the quarterback out to a high still. They're viewed as the CEO, leader of the team. And if you're not taking the job process seriously, then essentially what is it about you? Now, Shedeur Sanders in the game against the Rams, he didn't play particularly well. Yes, it is important to point out that 4 of the offensive linemen that blocked or protected him were cut. But Shedeur Sanders didn't do himself any favors. He was holding on to the football a little too long. So I think he still needs to grow. He still needs to mature. I still think he can be a solid enough quarterback in the NFL. But can't necessarily feel all that bad for him because some of it he did brought on himself. So, you know,
Again, I think everybody should go. Like I said in my TikTok video, I think everybody needs to go outside a little bit. go as the kiddos say these days. Go touch some grass.
Mr. Humble Pie himself up. Here we go.
Yeah, but that's kind of my thing. And and PSP said it too. Like you can't walk into interviews like that and act like an asshole. You just can't. And
especially when you have no leverage.
Yeah, and you're not, no offense, kid, but you're not your dad. You're not. Like, his dad was like all world, like one of the best athletes we've ever seen on the planet. You're not your dad. So you don't have the cachet to walk into an interview acting like you own the place. And again, you're a quarterback. And to what PSP said, and I said it last week, if you can't take an interview process seriously, how can I expect you to run a franchise seriously or be a leader of the whole franchise seriously? I also am a Shedeur fan. I'm a Dion fan. I want to see him to succeed. And I still think he might, but he's got work to do. And and again, even when he was at his peak, when everybody thought he was going to be a first-round draft pick, he had flaws in this game. Big-time flaws. And then those are bearing out. Now, again, this is why when he played really well a couple weeks ago and everybody was like, Hall of Fame. And I'm like, okay, everybody calm down. Like,
it's preseason.
It's preseason. Calm down, everybody. So, and just like now, when everybody's, even the people that are saying that he stinks, and I'm not saying he stinks. He's just got work to do. That's it. And just let's see if the kid puts in the work. He puts in the work. I think he can do it. If he doesn't want to put in the work, well, then you know what? You're going to be a third string quarterback your career.
It does kind of. I'm sorry, champ, but it does kind of make me wonder about what Dylan Gabriel recently said about. Remember what he said about entertainers?
Yeah,
Was that perhaps a shot at Shedeur?
might be.
So
Oh,
do all
that was. I mean, look, and here's the thing. From previous instances when Dylan Gabriel was in Oregon and Shadur Sanders was in Colorado, there's already a little bit of beef there, considering the head coach getting on TV and you getting on air and be like, we don't do this for clicks and views. And you know what I'm saying? And then Dylan Gabriel coming out with his entertainers. Come on, man. He did he come out and say it wasn't a shot at him? He did, but he had to save face. Everybody knew what that comment was. I mean, ain't nobody stupid in here. We know what that comment was.
What's so funny about that? What's so funny about that comment when Dan Lanning said that, right? They went out there, they went undefeated the whole season, went right to Ohio State and got their ass smacked.
Got it handed to him.
So,
but
you can talk about championships all you want to. You still ain't won one, Oregon.
Exactly. But I started with that to say that, I think when you compare the two quarterbacks, when you compare Shadur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, I think I don't. Some people may feel Dylan Gabriel is more talented. I think more people will feel like Shadur is more talented. When you look at the film, when you could go back and actually look at the game film, and you see, granted, yes, I think Shadur's biggest flaw pretty much showed like back in the preseason. He holds on to the ball. He holds on to the ball too long. He runs himself into sacks, and that was always the biggest flaw of him. He runs himself into sacks, but when you looked at the film, I think where Shadur Sanders, I think, is a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel, even though he's the 3 right now. It's anticipation on throws, like arm talent, period. But in particular, like his accuracy and his anticipation on throws. What Dylan Gabriel is doing now that is setting him apart and making himself the backup is being able to stay within the structure of the offense, like moving, like you said, stepping up in the pocket, getting rid of the ball, doing everything in structure. Even though more people, even though I don't think he's a more talented quarterback than Shedeur, what the Cleveland Browns asked their quarterback to do, he's doing at a better rate than Shadur Sanders. So he every bit earned the right to be called the backup to Joe Flacco. But with that, everybody pretty much, Flash pretty much said it. Like, if you got to take this and you got to put the work in, you got to see, you got to continue to hone in on your strengths, but you also have to fix your weaknesses. And like I said, his biggest weakness is still, like y'all said, it's the hero ball, trying to always make something out of nothing when you can just throw the ball away or step up. Yeah, like throw the ball away, or if you're going to step up and run the ball, step up in the pocket, get a few yard slide. Like every play does not have to be a big first down or a big touchdown, because coaches analyze that just as much as they do the explosive plays in the preseason. They analyze your ability to make the right decisions on every single play.
Yes,
in the preseason. Yeah, it's not just your ability. It's not just you going out trying to put up 28, 35 points a game. It's the little things. It's just little nuances like that they look at and they see, and it's just like, hey, you know what? He didn't have the greatest of games, but he didn't make a bad play. He didn't make a bad decision. He did everything right. And coaches look at that just as much, if not more. Really, they probably look at that more than just your ability to go out and light up a scoreboard.
Well, that's my point. Like, and a lot of people, if you go back, if you look at a lot of guys break down some of the film, and I would argue that that right now Dylan Gabriel's ability to make decisions is better right now. I think his ability to throw guys open, and I think Shedeur's anticipation isn't that good. If you go back and look at that film in the last game against the Rams, his inability to either throw guys open or again, this goes to the holding the ball too long. He was waiting for the guy to get open. And you can't do that in the NFL 9 times out of 10. So I right now, I just think he's just not there yet. And that's okay. That's why they have Joe Flacco. That's why they have Flacco. Flacco will play another year, and either Gabriel or Sanders will be the starter next year, or they'll go and draft somebody. So I just
sooner or later they'll probably start week 5, week 6. God forbid if Flacco gets hurt. Not wishing injury upon Flacco, but no. I think with SHEDEUR Sanders, there's nothing wrong with. Look,
go ahead, PSP.
And if I don't know, Cleveland may not be the best destination for him. I would like to see him somewhere else, but I don't think. But it doesn't mean that SHEDEUR Sanders in the NFL level. Unfortunately for him, he's going to have growing pains, just like the rest of them. I still think he can feed and flourish in the NFL. Maybe not to a pantheon quarterback, but at least a decent quarterback. But with the pre-draft workouts, the pre-draft meetings, that's still on him. Because at the end of the day, especially with the position that you carry at the quarterback position, you're viewed entirely different. If he were a DB, any of this position, but no quarterback in different position. That's like the president of the United States. It's like the president of a big major company, like a BMW or something like that. They're held to a different pedestal. And it doesn't matter if you are the son of one of the greatest, one of the best two-sport athletes in Deion Sanders. They're going to look at you've done SHEDEUR. So
I also want to point out when they brought up the collusion, when Eric Dickerson brought up the collusion thing, we were talking last week about how if you were an NFL team at that point, would you draft him and want the headache of Deion Sanders probably calling out you publicly? And I want to point out, like, Deion was blunt in an interview when he was asked, would he interfere in that? And he goes, yeah, I would do it privately, not publicly. If I'm a head coach, whatever franchise, I'm not dealing with that shit.
That's the concern, because even if you did it privately, you're still going to have to deal with that constant situation.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, like, if I'm a coach and let's say I didn't even draft SHEDEUR, and I get a phone call from Deion Sanders and you say something like you're some little league, dad out there, like, I'd be like, bro, like, you need to go.
Then you're pissing off the organization. And why the fuck should the organization take a shot at yours with the types of statements that are coming out of your mouth?
Yeah, you're literally Deion and SHEDEUR pre-draft talking about how we're going to do what we want. Okay.
But unfortunately, there are going to be some people that are going to support that. Yeah, I mean, look at Lonzo, look at LeVar Ball. I mean, look at some of the things he said about Lonzo. Ended up helping Lonzo becoming the second overall pick, but at the same time, Lonzo was also dealing with some hurdles throughout his basketball career, even though he issued.
Hopefully we can get a PSP back real quick. But to piggyback on what he said, look, if you're going to try to get, leverage on a team and you are in a draft, you have got to be this player who is out of this world. When Bo Jackson did it, he was out of this world. When John Elway did it, he was out of this world. Even when Eli did it, everybody knew that he was going to at least win a Super Bowl, even if he wasn't a top 5 quarterback of all time. Everybody knew at least he was going to win a Super Bowl. He didn't necessarily have to be the greatest quarterback of all time in order to get you a Super Bowl. And you wanted one Super Bowl, he got you 2. So you knew that Eli was special. If you're going to have that type of leverage and you want that type of leverage, you have to be out of this world. And coming into those situations, neither one of them were highly publicized. If you really look at, and I hate using this word, but let's just call a spade a spade. During the process when Bo Jackson, you barely heard a peep out of him at Auburn. During Eli's process, you barely heard a peep out of him. John Elway, you didn't really hear their names involved. Granted, social media wasn't as big as it is today, but you didn't hear, and you always hear, and I hate this word, how humble Bo Jackson was despite that. Damn, I hate that word. But that's what it is. You know, although Bo Jackson said, I'm not coming to, like I said, he was one of the biggest, most fastest guys ever in the NFL, but, you know, people always talk about how humble he was. And like I said, I don't think that people watch the game. And PSP, we've talked about this a lot. People watch the game for drama now. And I think that Shedeur Sanders offers us that type of drama in the NFL that a lot of us crave. I think that he offers that because everybody wants it to be something that it isn't.
I ain't laughing because of that. I'm laughing because Michelle Obama. Thank you, Michelle Obama. I mean, didn't she say exactly what we've been saying about ESPN? I'm sorry, I digress.
She was right on the money. But I believe everybody's looking for that one drama story where they can get on the damn internet. Even the casual fan can get on the internet and they can talk about a lot of bullshit that's really not going on. Like I said, Eric Dickerson is close to the NFL. I get what he's saying.
And but he doesn't strike you as a leader.
But a lot of these other think pieces that are going on along the internet, do y'all really watch the NFL during the preseason or no? No. Have you been watching this entire time? Because the thing is, like I said, I compare it to Caitlin Clark fans. Not the fans who have watched the W, but the fans who are just not tuning the hell in. They need to protect her. Everybody didn't get their ass whooped for years. Stop.
What did I tell you about Kendrick Perkins? What did I tell you about Kendrick Perkins, champ?
Yeah, it's collusion. No, fair shit. You know, they're not giving him a fair shot. He's out there with the third stringers. He didn't have the line to do it. It's preseason. Nobody gives a rat's ass about preseason.
But people have bad takes all the time, and unfortunately, they're not going to do their homework. And I told you before with Kendrick Perkins, he's the type of person that I do not want cooking breakfast because he's going. I wouldn't.
He's going to burn PSP's breakfast.
I want pancakes. I want eggs. I want bacon. I want waffles. Don't burn that. I don't want I don't want the food. Fuck it. I'm gonna throw it in the trash. And again, Michelle, what she said about sports media, ESPN, everything she said was true. We've been saying it. Flash has been saying it. BRF has been saying it. You've been saying it, Sham. I've been saying it. I mean, ESPN is reality TV. She said Real House of Atlanta. Maybe the car. I don't watch ESPN like that anymore. Unfortunately, I do not. I miss the good old days of Russell Soul, Stuart Scott, John Clayton, and all of them. But it's not the same with Shedeur. It's gonna take him some time. I know I'm digressing. What about Shiloh? What do y'all think about Shiloh?
Look, I'm gonna just be real. Was that fair? What happened with him? Was it retaliation? Yes, that's what happened with him. He retaliated and he got kicked out of the game. And I believe that's the straw that really broke the camel's back because I literally think that they was kind of not sold on him in the first place. But after that happened, it was over with. And people can talk about, well, he was defending himself. I understand that, but it's kind of like when the principal catches you in the hallway and this guy's been messing with you the whole damn day. They're only going to get the guy who retaliates.
Well, that and on top of it, again, this goes to the point, like, was he a first-round draft pick?
No, he was undrafted.
You're already stating on thin.
That's my point.
You're already stating on thin ice as it is.
It's not to bring up the Cowboys again, but Jimmy Johnson said this years ago. If Troy Aikman falls asleep in a team meeting, I'm not going to cut Troy Aikman. If the sixth-string corner falls asleep in a team meeting, I'm going to cut him. It just is what it is. Like, you can view that as unfair or not, but that's just life.
Yeah, and like I said, it's no different than us getting to fighting in school. This guy's been messing with you all day, and unfortunately, the principal comes right out and sees when you hit the guy. It's the same thing. We've all dealt with that. Is it right? Probably not. But is it life? Yes. Especially when you're already skating on thin ice as it is. Imagine you've been getting in trouble all damn week long, and finally the principal catches you punching the hell out of somebody, and he finally gets that excuse in order to send your ass home. That's what's going to happen. And like I said, when you know you're trying to make a team, and let's just be clear, Todd Bowles, him being the patient coach that he has, gave him every opportunity in order to do so, because he was playing the hell out of Shiloh. He was playing the hell out of him. He was playing him in every situation that he could. But the thing is, when something like that happens in preseason and you're skating on thin ice, and I'm already giving you every opportunity, that's going to raise a red flag in a lot of the assistant coach's mind, the general manager's mind. That's going to raise a lot of red flags, unfortunately. How can you not control yourself when you know you are skating on thin ice?
Well, not just that, not only with the team, the organization, but also teams. They want to There's Desmond Watson.
Desmond Watson? I think Atlanta should shine.
Because I know he weighed in at 464 at his pro day at Florida. He's probably like what, 440, 430-ish. I think he's got to get down to at least 350, and then maybe some team like Atlanta or maybe Washington. I wouldn't mind Washington taking a chance.
I think you should put him in special circumstances, like put him in goal line situation. Let him be a space eater. You know, hey, you might not have the best conditioning right now, but I mean, put him in there like you would the fridge. Put him in there, let him eat up that little bit of space, and let him have at it. There's no reason why, you can't have. I understand you want to play a guy like that, but like I said, he could very well be your answer to the tush push. Let him be a little tush push stopper. Put him in a certain situation, and you don't have to have your conditioning. You're not the best way to get in shape for football is play football. I mean, it's kind of like when I was boxing. The best way to keep boxing, the best way to get prepared for a boxing match is sparring. And he's not going to be in shape or any condition if he's not playing football. So I think the team should really take a chance on him. I mean, you ain't got to pay him much of a signing bonus right about now, but give him a chance in order to prove himself that he can be a little bit of a space eater, so you can go out there and, have your linebacker, go right behind him in order to fill some holes. No pun intended. So, yeah, I think that's that. Anybody?
No, I'm good.
Flash?
No.
Just a little bit of a funny one. So, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged. How will this affect Patrick Mahomes?
What is
I
this? The
hate you, Janet.
Kardashian? What is this? The Kardashian curse? All of a sudden, what do we need? I mean, come on. Look,
How will this affect Mahomes' legacy?
hey, champ. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for saying this, but I must say this. Since you quoted Shannon Sharp at his word, Kayla Nicole, it is kind of interesting because she said, "Do I look like someone that I would handle 50?" Well, Travis Kelce apparently went on to one who can more than 50, who is as attractive and who is a billionaire in Taylor Swift.
Hey, look, I ain't the one. Never mind. I'll let somebody. Because I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be obnoxious today. I don't want to be.
Am I lying?
Look, here's what I get pissed off at, and I'm just gonna be real. I have never spoken about this ever in my entire life on the air or any platform. I get so damn tired of these damn 50-50 conversation and all of this other bullshit ass conversation. Number one, you rich. Y'all are rich. What the hell are y'all talking about? 50-50 conversations. Now, these conversations, look, us poor folks need to shut the hell up because we ain't got no reason to be talking about 100 any damn thing. So guess what? If you move in my crib or whatever, then guess what? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I'm not finna chase nobody to pay your damn bills. You pay your own shit. You know what I'm saying? It's straight like that. Unless we are exclusive, I'm not paying shit of yours. I'm just being real. I ain't paying the damn thing of yours. My damn meal prep costs $200. So what the hell I look like taking from that damn meal prep when my fat ass is trying to lose some weight and in order to give that to you? Hell, the fuck no. Mother made that. Look, I'm not with all of that shit, bro. Mother made that, so motherfuck that. I'm not dealing with it. So I'm not finna deal with all this. All of this 50-50 bullshit that these celebrities and these folks come up with, it's repetitive, it's anticlimactic, it's the biggest bunch of bullshit that I've ever seen. Because I actually saw a married couple in the form of my mother and my father for 35 years do great things, and they never complained about who was doing what. That's the thing. And when people are bringing up these dumbass problematic conversations about 50-50, you need to shut the fuck up because you don't know what you're talking about. You probably never seen a healthy relationship in your life, and you're depending on somebody to help you, dumbass. So shut up. It's enough of enough.
Chill. Good Lord. Scorched earth much, sir?
It's repetitive. It's dumb. It's anticlimactic. There's nothing going to be accomplished. Nobody's finna chase your ass in order to pay your bills, and the probability of you running into a basketball player or a football player or anybody rich is gonna save your dumb ass and pay all your student debt and pay your nails and all that bullshit. The probability of that happening is the probability of me going to the casino tomorrow night in Shorter, Alabama, and winning $1 million. It's 1 in a billion. Until that happens, everybody needs to shut the fuck up about this 50-50 conversation. It's anticlimactic. We need to learn from the generations before us on how they did things and start evaluating from there. All this 50-50 shit. And the thing is, the girl talking about something, do I look like the girl that'll go on 50-50? Okay, that's why I left your dumb ass and married a billionaire. Boom. You lost. And
Thank
for people
you.
who say Travis Kelce fumbled, how the hell did I fumble and my girl's a damn billionaire? That girl can take care of my ass after my NFL career is over. Just because you look better than somebody and you got a bigger ass than somebody and you got a BBL doesn't necessarily make you better. So guess what? Again, mother made this whole situation, these 50-50 talks, these situations that are not conducive to a healthy relationship. So mother made those conversations, so motherfuck those conversations. I'm gonna go on this situation. I had to go on a rant. I am done. Anybody else got anything they want to say?
I just want to know how this affected Mahomes' legacy. I didn't know I was gonna strike a nerve here. Jeez Louise. Holy cow.
This ain't gonna affect Mahomes' legacy worth of shit. What are we talking about? Let them. Hey, if they are happy, let them be happy. This ain't this one. This one of them questions. This one of them questions you see in the memes anyway. So like, how to be like such and such just built this. So such and such built this platform such and just years ago. How will this affect such and such's legacy? Like not at all.
That's why I put it in the chat, because I'm like, it's a LeBron meme joke. It's like
exactly. It'll be like Rajon Rondo was just voted the #1 quarterback in flag football in the country. How does this affect LeBron's?
Of all the things we can discuss about with Patrick Mahomes' legacy, how does Travis Kelce being engaged to Taylor Swift going to jeopardize the Chiefs or his legacy? And like I said, the reason
I ain't expect you to come up with the whole 50-50 conversation.
I brought it up because again, I brought it up because just like you quoted Shannon Sharp, I'm killing Nicole. I'm tired of 50-50 bullshit. Also, because doesn't agree with 50-50. Well, with Travis Kelce, hey, he found somebody else who's just as attractive, who's also a billionaire, and he's winning. And he found something that he's able to get. And we up with this 50 bullshit. I agree, champ, because again, is it that we mentioned the 50-50 bullshit with Bills? Why can't we just like other generations in the past? Were they concerned about 50-50s? No, they weren't. But they were still able to succeed and have long relationships. But nowadays, you just hear 50-50 relationship, 50 this, 50 that. Okay, it work out for Kayla Nicole.
Again, I'm gonna just keep it all the way a buck. I pay damn near $1,000 a month for this damn apartment that I'm staying in, so I'm not gonna be arguing with no fucking body about no damn 50-50. I'm not gonna chase you in order to pay your damn bills. You better go hate your damn self.
I will say this.
No. You would pay for a bills all because you just want that chocolate skin. If you want George Taylor's peanut butter skin,
look, let me tell you something. Now I'm gonna let you talk to Stephon right about now. Champ is finna go out the window right about now. Stephon is not paying for no pussy so he can pay all your damn bills. I ain't doing it. Ain't no pussy does me paying all your damn bills. Fuck that. I ain't doing it. If you my wife or we engaged or something like that, cool. I'm not finna give you cash after you random shit just so your ass can go and flex with your homegirls. You better hate your damn self. I ain't doing it. I got
from my life experiences. I'm with Champ on that.
I do want to add that PSP asked the question of how will this affect the Chiefs. In a weird way, I think as long as Kelce is playing on the Chiefs, a lot of the public will say that if they make and win the Super Bowl, it's rigged just for the views.
But don't you think that they'll probably say it's rigged? The Chiefs get preferential treatment because of the refs and shit?
But
they say that now. Because I mean that's that's obvious. It's obvious now.
But I'm saying that I think now that because now they're like, well, now we need Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl now. That'll always be. It'll just be worse now.
I mean, it's gonna always be something, man. With everybody, I'm gonna just be real.
Controversy sells. People want.
People want an excuse to why your team is losing. So I'm gonna just be real. As former athletes, all of us ourselves, they always tell us one thing: you cannot leave it in the officials' hands. They're gonna mess up at one point or another. Is it blatant sometimes with them? Yeah, but at the end of the day, you cannot make any mistakes when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. So, on that note, I'm gonna just be real, man. Hey, I'm hoping that they do make it to the Super Bowl. I hope they do the whole kiss. I hope they televise the wedding and do all that old good shit. And
What are you gonna be? You gonna be pastor champ? You gonna be one
No,
who's
I
if
am.
anybody objects that these two should not be married, let them speak now and forever hold their peace?
No, I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm just gonna be real. I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm just being real, dude.
But we all know you want. But we all know you. We all know them eyes of yours. You wouldn't mind Nicole.
Who?
Kayla Nicole. You wouldn't mind Kayla
No,
Nicole.
I'm not finna. Look, I'm gonna just be real. Look, man. Look. Looking at some of these IG models is I equivocated to what my father used to tell me. Looking at some of these IG models are kind of like looking at Rolls Royces. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna get right into my pickup truck that I drive, and I'm gonna drive the hell off.
Just because you fine don't make you a worthy catch.
I mean, that just because you.
Well,
Hey,
how do you explain Joy Taylor?
again.
Hey, she kind of never.
Just because I look at it doesn't mean I want it. I look at BMWs every single day. I work right across the street sometimes from a BMW dealership, and I see them every day. I was like, damn, look at that nice BMW. But guess what? I go right back and I fill up my pickup truck and I go about my business. All of that, hey, everything fine at the finest and everything shining a dime. So that's just how it goes. I mean, and look,
fantasize peanut butter.
Again, who does it? But the thing is, I'm just gonna be real. When it comes to sacrificing and doing all of that crap, I'm not doing it. Especially for a lot of these new ideas. It's dumb. Like I said, I grew up with a family. All of us did. I grew up in a family. I know what it takes. So, I mean, seeing my grandmother, seeing my uncles, seeing my mother, seeing a lot of these guys do what they do. They didn't never have no discussions about it. And the thing is, you only see it.
Well, that's because class. They have integrity.
Again, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not finna sit around here and chase nobody because I want to pay your damn bills. Your bills ain't worth my salt. So shit.
I don't mean to bow out. I gotta go. I gotta get the kiddo to bed. So
I got you, brother.
Peace out, guys.
All right.
Flash.
All right, Flash man. But yeah, I ain't doing all that, man. Like I said, it's gonna take somebody real special in order to get that out.
Well, sure as hell ain't no Jada Pink you.
Hell no. She wouldn't. Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I would normally say, but yeah, that's the only thing you getting around here. That's about it. That's the only thing you getting around here. Read between the only thing you getting if you Jada is that Val Venus, and then that's it. You getting that Val Venus? Get, partner. Other than that, you might well just keep on rolling. I ain't got time for it, man. Look, I am 37 years old. I have been in 2 wars. I sleep well at night, knowing about a lot of stuff that has went on in my life. I sleep well at night. I don't need that extra stress. I don't. And whatever I have to do in order to keep that extra stress, keep that stress away from me, that's what I have to do. And I'm not fit to deal with all of this nonsense, this TikTok talk. Especially because I'm dating women my age. I mean, I'm just being real. I'm not dating these young ass girls like Shannon Sharp. I'm dating women my age. So I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear shit about your damn bills. If you could take care of your bills, you need to go to the House of Mercy.
Saying, but we're not looking for any Michelles around here. We're trying to be realistic.
We trying to be realistic, and we trying to look. Hey, I'm not trying to end up in no situations where I'm going to end up messed up for the next 10 years. I don't have 10 years in order to give nobody. I don't know what's gonna be. I'm approaching 40 right now. I ain't got time for that shit.
I will be 40 in a couple months.
Yeah, I got like 2-3 more years before I'm 40. I don't have time for that. For this TikTok new age nonsense, man. Either we're gonna do it the correct way and we're gonna work as a team, or we're not gonna work at all. I mean, I'm not finna go to the damn job and bust my ass all day and then come back home and listen to you talk about this damn birthday that you ain't got, that you probably can't afford your damn self, by the way. So, like I said, mother made it, you know the rest. So
I'm starting to believe Champ has more of a future either becoming a pastor or becoming a therapist.
I'm not finna look. I'm not an angel, so I can't become a pastor. So I can't do that. But I cannot be a therapist because I tell it like it is. Again, it's a lot of these conversations are very anticlimactic. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, bro. It only happens in our community, these dumbass talks. And
You
that's
don't hear
just
that
how
from white communities.
Hey,
About
now I'll say this though, because I know you had said something about like I'm not an angel, so I can't be. Let me tell you something. There are pastors right now to this day that preach with an angel and a devil on each of their shoulders at the same time. So
again.
I'm just saying, in it, I'm just saying some of these pastors ain't got no business trying to
Again,
preach.
I'm not for the teaching the pulpit in the house of the Lord unless I'm living it totally right. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to do that. That makes you worse than anybody else walking the earth. It's kind of like being a cop and not here being a dirty cop. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way I feel about that. When you are a reverend, you're a pastor, even when you're a deacon, you're held in a high regard, not just in the church, but in your community. So
That's you're right about that.
when you're held in that high regard, you're a leader. You're supposed to be the person that resists, that can tell someone, "Hey, I was in this situation, but I didn't do it." So I would not look. I don't look. I'm gonna just be real. I ain't playing with the Lord, bro. That's a dangerous game. That's a dangerous game.
You're right
And
about that.
yeah, that's a dangerous game. And look, I'd rather slide down a razor blade into a pool of alcohol than to play that game, partner. You ain't gonna get me playing that game. That's a game that I don't want to play. But like I said, man, whole Taylor Swift thing, I'm happy for Travis Kelce. I wish we'd stop having these dumbass think pieces online about how he fumbled or whatever. He married a billionaire. The woman is attractive. No matter how you slice it or how you want to pull it, the Taylor Swift is attractive. She makes good music. She has a business mind, and Travis Kelce being attached to her is going to make him even bigger. Has made him even bigger than he ever was with the other. I don't even know the girl damn name, but
Kayla Nicole.
yeah, her too. But I don't even know that damn girl's name, and I wouldn't even know her. And I would even. And the sad part about that, we wouldn't know her either if it wasn't for Travis Kelce. We knew her because of Travis Kelce. I didn't even know who the hell Kayla Nicole was before Travis Kelce came along. I didn't even know who the hell she was. And probably because I'm so blinded by being a football fan, but I didn't even know who the hell she was. So I don't even pay attention to some of these IG models and stuff like that, claiming that nobody would know you if it wasn't for Travis Kelce, because we didn't know.
Travis Kelce was going through his John B phase.
I mean, either that, thank God it was John B and not John Candy, but I digress. but I'm just being real. But hey, look, people, if you're looking into the screen, cut out these anticlimactic, 50-50 talks. It bores. It bores. It's anticlimactic. There's nothing ever going to be accomplished by it. And the fact of the matter is, y'all talk about Travis Kelce fumbled when it came to Kayla Nicole or Nicole Kayla, whatever the hell. If it wasn't for Travis Kelce, we wouldn't even know who the hell she was. It's kind of like PSP dating the IG model. If it wasn't for PSP, I probably wouldn't know who the hell she was. That's just how I look at it. It's just like Travis Kelce is considered one of the greatest tight ends of all time. I don't even know what this girl did. I don't even know what the hell this girl did.
Don't be insinuating or affiliating with me with IG models. I ain't trying to be Shannon Sharp now. Come on.
Just date up, not down, man. I'm just being real.
PSP said he don't want to be Mr. TNB, and we'll leave it at that.
I'm trying to secure a future. I'm trying to get into the world of podcasting, man. I'm not trying to jeopardize what the good Lord brought for me.
Let's not get into it on this show, but I mean it's
But I had to bring up the 50-50 chip because again, people were going to eventually bring that up with Travis. But again, it doesn't matter 50-50 or whatnot. He was able to find someone else who was attractive, who is a billionaire, and he's happy and he's content, and it's going to help Travis Kelce as far as his brand. So
Again, they help out each other because the thing is this. That's what the whole 50-50. The thing is that whole situation is 50-50 with him and Taylor. If you really look at it, a lot of guys don't listen to Taylor Swift.
they don't.
A lot of women don't watch football
But they watch it because of Taylor Swift.
It's kind of like Beyonce if she wasn't with Jay-Z dating a football player. Or I'll use this as an example. You brought it up perfectly. Everybody wanted to watch the Houston game, if not for anything, but to watch Beyonce because of how much of an icon she was. And it helps the brand. Yes, and it helps the brand. It helps each other out. She all on his and his brother's show and all of that. It's good publicity. You're the new power couple. So, I mean, and hey.
At the end of the day, it's about business. So the NFL, they're going to profit off of it. So with the engagement, the NFL, they're looking at it as, oh my God, we're going to make even more money. Because now with the engagement, now anytime whenever Travis Kelce or the Chiefs score a touchdown, we're going to put it on Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah. Hey, when we make it big, I'm gonna start bringing Sweeney on the show when I start dating Sweeney or something. I don't know.
Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't need no American Eagle wearers up in here. Don't do that.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about the girl who Quavo used to date. You know what I'm saying?
You got a better chance with Mariah Mills as far as I'm concerned.
Sweetie, like.
The rapper.
Yeah.
I got you.
I don't know. I mean, Champ may probably deal with Mariah Mills. I don't know.
Lead him wisdom teeth alone, bro.
That is never gonna happen.
Lead him wisdom teeth alone. Leave him alone.
Lead him. Never mind. I'm not fit to even go there.
I done said it, man. Lead him wisdom teeth alone.
Yeah, that like you gotta walk around looking like you got a pile of shit in your pants.
Boy.
I'm sorry. I'll censor myself tomorrow when we get on the kiddie show. When we get on the family friendly show, we can do all the hot takes on here. But
you're not gonna do that on my part tomorrow because we all know for Babyface Heel, we're gonna do Stink Meaner for Babyface Heel.
Yeah, no.
What did you say?
I'm getting all the bad stuff out of me tonight, man, so I can be clean tomorrow. But yeah, man. I'm glad that. And like I said, he just got an American Eagle contract. He was on the cover of the GQ. I mean, hey,
he's winning.
He's winning. Let that man win.
Well, whether people want to admit it or not, and don't get me wrong, Kayla Nicole is a very good-looking woman, but whether people want to admit it or not, Travis Kelce leveled up, and he leveled up big time, so he ain't got to answer to nobody.
Again, look. Again, the dude married a damn billionaire.
Yeah. He leveled up big time.
Then on top of that, look, city boys are up. Then my boy French Montana, he married a princess over there in Dubai.
He surely did. Bless his heart.
He did. So look, shut the hell up and let the city boys.
Frank Montana can't rap to save his life, but he doing something right.
Yeah, he can rap gifts and gafers, but he can't rap.
Yeah, you're right. He can rap presents. That's about as good as it gets.
He can rap a damn
You're right.
But yeah, he can rap presents around Christmas time. He damn sure. I did like Unforgettable, by the way. I loved Unforgettable.
The pop. I did the pop that song. That's my favorite French Montana song.
I mean, but if you really look at it, him and Uncle Luke rap similarly on that damn song. But
what you working with?
Yeah, so he raps just like Uncle Luke on that song. But I'm just being real, man. But Oh man, look.
I promise y'all. I promise y'all. I'm not going delusional. I'm not tired. I promise, boy. The champ just. I don't know, man. Champ. Bring out the best and the worst in me, but it's all in good fun.
Hey, man, look, man, look. I mean, look. Hey, man, look. Let's just be real, man. It's. Hey, I love the fact that Travis Kelce he leveled up. Love the fact Fresh Montana they leveled up, man. They leveled up. Let those men be happy and let them go, because guess what? If it were any other way around, we wouldn't have a problem with it. And we wouldn't be talking about if somebody would have married whoever. I mean, and I'm trying to be nice on this one, man, because I went after that little rant I went into earlier. But if anybody else would have leveled up like they
colorful.
Yeah, be colorful, the whole Jim Cornette. But if anybody else, if Meg, now that Meg then left a lot of these cats alone and she's, dating Klay Thompson, we commend her for that. We want that. We don't go around here at least the guys that I know, me, you, PSP, we don't go around here throwing shade on her because she leveled up with Klay Thompson.
But that's the problem. Jealousy, champ. Look at Sierra with Russell Wilson. She went from Future to Russell Wilson.
Again, let her level up again, and everybody deserves to be happy at the end of the day. They don't deserve to go around here worried about what dumbass people think about them. And if you found somebody, and people can call Russell corny or whatever, but that man is brilliant. He does his thing. He takes care of his family. Maybe if a lot of you motherfuckers took heed to that, maybe you wouldn't be in the situation that you're in right now. Let's just be real. So, you could, they called a lot of people corny in school, yet they millionaires right about now. And you still standing on the corner store with that damn bill in your hand, talking about what the hell you gonna do. When, in the great words of my father, what I'm gonna do ain't never did a damn thing. So, hey, you calling Russell Wilson corny and a lot of these guys corny, yet you still on the corner store doing what you do. Who's really corny at this point? On that note, I'm gonna holler at y'all. We finish this out. Oh,